Hi guys, welcome back to story time. Okay, so yesterday we read chapter 1 and we met one of the main characters, Zam, who was a baker, and at the end of the chapter one of the main enemies showed up, the rats. Okay, and today we're going to read chapter 2. I have no idea what chapter 2 is about, so we're going to go on this reading journey together. Let's go. Chapter 2, The Sugar Spun Princess. The rat was the size of a small cat, which was not uncommon for the rats of Troutwine. For as long as most people could remember, the town had been plagued by rats. Each generation seemed to grow bigger and more sophisticated. These days, the Troutwine rats wore jackets and fancy waistcoats made especially for them. They carried catapults and swag bags ready for anything they could lay their hands on. They lurked in the shadows, gutters and sewers, but less often than they used to. Now they could be seen in small groups walking about on the streets quite openly. The rats had even started shaving the tops and sides of their heads in imitation of the townsfolk. This rat was no different. Zam peered carefully round the door. The rat had a fuzzy layer of stubble on his head and cheeks, and the fur remaining was combed into braids from which small silver spoons hang. He had a catapult in the back pocket of his jacket and a bundle of large matches for starting fires poking out of his swag bag. Balthazar Bobab strode past Zam and into the shop. "Can I help you?" he said politely. "But before I do, can I just say what a magnificent waistcoat that is? It suits you so well." "So, you're the new head baker, aren't you?" interrupted the rat, his whiskers quivering as he sniffed the air. "We heard they got rid of old Wilkins." "Balthazar Bobab, very pleased to meet you, though I'm not so new. Head baker Wilkins left just a year ago," Balthazar explained. "Can I just say I love what you've done with your hair?" "Well, thank you very much," said the rat, swelling with pride. Walters is the name. Been leaving bakery number 9 alone for a while since last year's little trouble, haven't we? But now you're back on your feet. We want a taste." "A taste?" said Balthazar innocently. "Half your money every week, starting right now," said Walters, "or your luck will change. Fires might start, windows might get broken, people might slip on greasy flagstones." "I see," said Balthazar, crossing to the counter and scooping 5 crescent-shaped bread rolls onto a square of greased parchment and folding it neatly. "I wish I could oblige you, I really do," he said, "but I'm sure that an intelligent and fashionable gentleman such as yourself will understand that we have spent this week's takings on supplies for the Grand Duchess's tea ball tomorrow. Perhaps you'll accept these for now." Balthazar deftly slipped the package of delicious buttery rolls into the rat's swag bag. Walters paused for a moment, eyeing the mouth-watering gifts and considering Balthazar's suggestion. "I wouldn't normally do this, but I like you. I don't know why, but I do. So I'll give you till the end of the week." The rat turned, opening the bakery door so that the bell attached to it wouldn't ring, slipped through the narrow gap sleekly and silently, and was gone. Balthazar slumped against the counter for a moment, looking suddenly very tired. He caught Zam watching from the doorway that led down to the kitchen and straightened up, attempting to smile. "Don't look so worried, Zam," he said brightly. "I'll take care of it. Now, haven't you got some gingerbread to make?" Zam looked down at the ingredients in the bowl. He had to get this just right. He would blame himself if everything wasn't perfect. Taking the wooden spoon, he began to stir the flour and all the spices he'd selected so carefully from the flavour library, together with eggs and golden syrup. The spoon slid around the bowl effortlessly and seemed to glow and grow warm in Zam's hands. He muttered the recipe, easeful mixing with broad, generous spoon. He had the baking tray ready. It was the biggest one in the kitchen, and he'd had to persuade Langdale to let him use it. The others had all finished their tasks by now, and they were upstairs having tea with the head baker. This was one of Balthazar's ideas. It brought everyone together during the busy day. Zam would have his cup of tearwater tea later, once he'd got to the gingerbread with crinkle-cut edges safely in the oven. Zam spooned the mixture from the bowl onto the baking tray and then carried it across to the enormous oven. He pulled on the heavy gloves before opening the door and quickly placed the tray inside as a fiery blast hit him. Short, fierce bake, he reminded himself. The oven was fierce, all right, and it was busy too. Its other shelves were crammed with Langdale and the Shellac sisters' short-crust shells. Zam was just about to go upstairs and join the others when he noticed something on the head baker's table. It was a porcelain cake decorator's dummy and a pan full of sugar and water. Zam smiled. He loved working with sugar, but he hadn't had much practice so far. It wouldn't do any harm to have a go. He took the pan over to the stove, added a splash of rose water, and heated it, staring at all the time with the wooden spoon. The sugar dissolved and turned a beautiful golden colour. Zam took the pan over to the cake decorator's dummy and scooped up the golden mixture and spun it around and around the dummy. As he worked, the spoon glowed and became warmer and warmer in his hand. It felt as if it had a life of its own. A few moments later, Zam stepped back from the table and gasped. There, cooling on the porcelain dummy, was a sugar-spun princess. Zam looked down at the spoon thoughtfully, turning it over in his hand. It seemed to be perfectly clean, with no trace of sticky sugar mixture. It was almost as if the spoon was magical. Zam trembled as he breathed the word. Magical objects and their use were forbidden in Troutwine. The rats hated magic, and the people of Troutwine avoided upsetting the rats if they knew what was good for them. Perhaps it wasn't magical, Zam thought to himself. Perhaps his sugar work had just improved. Pushing his worries to the back of his mind, Zam put the spoon in his apron pocket and climbed the stairs. He was looking forward to the cup of tea while the gingerbread baked. Okay, and that's the end of the chapter. So this is the bakery. Oh, I wonder what this picture's showing. It seems like the little princess has moved. And then this is the head baker and Zam having a big pot of tea. Okay, well, chapter 3 is called Tearwater Tea. So that picture gives us a clue about what the next chapter is about. I hope you enjoyed chapter 2. Please comment any thoughts, questions and predictions below. And yeah, see you tomorrow for chapter 3. Bye.